And Amanda's, after I talk, is going to talk more about our definition of that, because it might be broader than some people's ideas of what homelessness looks like or is. But we're hoping that we can follow some ground rules. These are Power's ground rules. I'll just pass them around, read them through. If anybody has a problem with them, let me know. I see that John's recording, and I want to make sure that's okay with everybody. And John, why don't you tell us what we're recording for?
Yeah, my name's John Smith. I'm a independent reporter. My company is Soul Snatcher Productions from Mason County. We have homeless up there too. I just guess I just want to take a second here to volunteer. I've been homeless. Nobody has to tell me.
Right now, we're just talking about
I'm here because I want to tell your story to a larger audience than what's in the room, because I believe that the homeless need help from and cooperation with the community, but I don't think that the community understands what the real story is about being homeless. They hear about it, but I don't think they hear it in the first person, and I'd like to cover that tonight. And if any of you have any objections, I'll turn the camera off, but if you don't, I'd very much like to be able to facilitate telling your story to an audience that can't be here tonight, but would be interested in knowing.
So where would that happen?
Mason County is where I'm out of, a Mason County blog, and so, but it's going to be on the internet, so conceivably you could be in New York or Hong Kong and still hear the story. I'll be posting these on YouTube.
Okay. All right, is that okay with everybody?
What's your blog called?
Mason County blog, and the company is Soul Snatcher Productions. And it's amicuscuria.com/WordPress, and you can go there and see what kind of stuff goes on there.
Is there anybody for whom being filmed and put on the internet is unsafe or would make you not talk as freely?
We have the opportunity to, if someone's telling us.
If you're not comfortable, I don't want, this is an opportunity for the homeless to speak. I don't want to be dampening anyone's First Amendment rights, and so if you're not comfortable with that, I don't have a problem with that. This is private property. I don't have any right to film anyone in here on private property. I do on the streets, but this is all voluntary. I'm just a guest here.
So is everybody okay with it, or is anybody feeling uncomfortable with it? So can I get everybody to participate? Raise your hand if you're comfortable with John's film. Okay, I see not everybody's hand raised. Raise your hand if you're uncomfortable with John filming. I mean, there's some people that didn't. Okay.
Thank you for your vote of confidence.
There's like a particular part where some people might want to talk about some civil disobedience kind of thing, so maybe at that point.
I'll turn the camera off, but I want to warn you.
You can keep it.
Yeah, no, I will turn the camera off, but see this button, I'm here to report what I do, and I really, if there's any discussion about anything that's illegal, I really don't want to know about it.
So the first half is going to just be talking about our experiences with homelessness. The second half is going to be talking about solutions and brainstorming, and it's going to be less of a fishbowl and more of a kind of community cafe at the individual tables where we get to talk in smaller groups about and then switch and talk in smaller groups. So we probably won't film that part, and that's the part where we're going to be bringing up any ideas that we have to address what we heard about in the first hour. So could we not film?
Oh, I will turn the
that
camera
part?
off, but I'm just warning everybody that just because the camera's off doesn't mean I won't be reporting what I hear. So if you're going to talk about something that's illegal, I would appreciate it if I don't hear it, because I don't want to put you at risk. But I'm here as the eyes and ears of the public. I'm not here to be anyone's co-conspirator.
Well, you're gonna find out pretty soon, so.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be independent. I can't be in anyone's corner.
Okay, so is there anyone who's uncomfortable with having a reporter here?
During the second portion? Absolutely.
During the second
Yeah.
portion?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so is everybody comfortable with having John here in the first hour filming? Yes. Okay, so John, is it all right if you film the first hour and then leave for the second hour?
I can leave if that's what you want. Although you might be interested at the end in my input, because I have a lot of ideas that don't involve breaking any laws that could be pretty effective.
Yeah.
So,
And he could give us input and then leave.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's fair.
And by the way, can I just add one thing? I know your time is precious and limited, but I run into this with the anarchists and so forth, and look, I'm very much in the open, but when you're in a public meeting like this, like, you don't have any expectation of privacy, and if there was somebody working undercover for the FBI or the police, and this goes on, they're not going to tell you that they're recording and reporting and taking notes. And so just for your own protection, I would be very cautious about discussing anything that's illegal in a public meeting. And just because it's private property, you still don't have any expectation of privacy. Somebody can record what's going on here, and they're not violating the Washington State Privacy Act.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, I believe if that's what they want, but that's not necessarily going to be a shield if somebody wants to come after someone.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do want to discuss solutions of a broad nature, so I think that, and civil disobedience isn't always a legal matter, so
Yeah.
it can just be.
Well, I just got done reading a search warrant by the FBI, and I was shocked to see how much surveillance is going on. Yeah.
We all know about that. So, did everybody have a chance to read the reality? Does everybody feel good about those? Is there anybody that has any qualms with any part of them? All right. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to mention, we brought our recorder. We have a project called Power Down, which stands for Developing Our Own Welfare Narratives. And we record stories, but just audio. We don't do video. So I'm assuming if people are okay with video, they're okay with audio. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm going to be the facilitator, which means that we want to make sure everybody has a chance to talk. So if you're going on for a while, I might do signals to you to wrap it up so that we can make sure we hear from everybody. If you haven't talked, like I'll encourage people to talk. You can make signals to me if you need anything. And we want to create a safe space where people are feeling comfortable to share the realities of homelessness. And again, we ask that for this first hour, only people who have experienced homelessness or are currently experiencing homelessness talk. And then everybody will have a chance in the second hour to share their ideas about solutions. All right, I think that's all I have to say. Amanda is going to talk about the definitions of homelessness.
Yeah, so my name is Amanda, and I'm a volunteer at Power, and I come as a mom who's been on welfare for the last 5 years. A single mom, and also a individual who has experienced one of the definitions of homelessness, which is then sleeping at a friend's house, we would call it couch surfing, or using other resources. And part of the reason why I was interested in this event was to find out how to connect with other people who experience different types of homelessness, because we don't always understand other faces of homelessness, even though we're, experiencing similar, not the same, but similar life events. So I know that we are also the experts because we face homelessness every day, or the threat of homelessness, or, my feeling is, what do you do when you run out of resources? Then what are the alternatives? So I just wanted to share a little bit of what I've learned as what our city is doing, and what that means to us as people of the city and as people who are experiencing homelessness. And so, excuse me if I read, and I know a lot of you know this, but I just wanted to comment on what the criminalization of homelessness, what it is. So over the course of since 2005, which was before 2008, right? 3.5 million Americans experience homelessness. And the trend of cities has been to criminalize homelessness, using the criminal justice system to respond to people living in public spaces, targeting people who use public spaces to perform life-sustaining activities in public. The types of criminalization are what our city is doing, which is sleeping in public spaces, or to sit or to store belongings. It's selective enforcement of natural laws, such as loitering or open containers against homeless people. They can sweep the city of areas where homeless persons are living to drive them out of the area, frequently resulting in the destruction of those persons' personal property, including important personal documents or medication. These laws punish people for begging or panhandling to move poor or homeless people out of the city or out of the downtown area. So those are just ways that we criminalize people. We know city ordinances frequently serve as a prominent tool to criminalize homelessness, and the trend only appears to be growing. They practice punitive anti-homeless laws, such as in Saratoga, Florida, such as not having another place to live as a reason to arrest you. In Lawrence, Kansas, they